Thanks.
Wendy, you know just as well as any of us that just pushing a button is not always that simple.
Well, I can do it too on my end. Well, we did it.
But it just means we can play test it right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we're recording right now.
We are.
And we haven't really missed anything other than the approval of the minutes. So we've done that. Now let's go back.
Or you wanted to do the next minutes or wanting to?
Oh, we have, oh, that's right, we haven't done that. Okay, let's go to the next minutes.
Okay. Believe.
Kristen, we waited for you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And the last time he's gonna dial in 5 minutes.
Oh, perfect. Okay, here it is. Won't scan through it.
I hate this keyboard.
This is beep or brap?
Beep.
Beep. Okay.
It actually should say M-beep because it's the modified beep.
Okay.
Whoever's
Too. I can do that too. Capital M dash.
M, capital M dash, and then BEAP.
Nailed it. I guess I'll send them both in the same email then.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Perfect.
Okay, I would, if people are happy with this, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Diane. Do I hear a second?
Seconded.
Thank you, Brittany. Any further discussion? Okay, let's have a vote. I vote aye. Corinne?
Aye.
Diane?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Brittany?
Aye.
And last but not least, Jen.
Aye.
Okay, that's done. Now, there is one person that's not here yet. I know Les was gonna come.
He is. He sent me a text saying he'd be zooming in about 5 minutes.
Oh,
And that was at 7:04. So he should be zooming in any minute now.
Well, you know, I was just gonna give a bit of background information, which I think he knows already. So why don't we just start talking about it? And, I think he knows all the stuff I'm gonna say now.
Is there anything specific you'd like me to pull up?
Yeah, if you could pull up that, yeah. And let me just see if I can, let me just give a brief overview of what it is. Thank you, Jim, and thank you everybody else who's here for this, because this is a matter that has concerned, or maybe bedeviled would be the right word, the housing board for some time. What I thought I'd do tonight was try to get together all people that are doing the best they can to help us and resolve the matter, so we can compare notes and all understand what the situation is. And I'm hoping that we can, because of our inherent genius, move forward and come up with a plan forward so that we can sell this unit to another low-income family.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, this unit at 118 Summer Road is a middle unit between two heated units in Summerfield's condominium complex. It was purchased by Geraldine Pierce, I believe in 2019, and she lived there with her son, John Pierce, for some time. I believe last April, Geraldine passed away. And since then, it's been a matter of concern. April Zeiss, who can't be here tonight, and others have reported to us that they don't quite know whether one person was living there. So it got the housing board's attention. The person who spent the most time by far on this is Wendy, who has worked with the son, John Pierce, and his friend and realtor, Jeff, I guess, to try to understand what is going on and to resolve the situation. Presently, and the whole thing has been made more interesting by the fact that winter is upon us. Fran very alertly pointed out that we better do something, even if, we don't have the keys, to protect the earth. So we got the fire department to go over there and turn the thing off.
Turn the water off.
Turn the water off, yeah.
Okay.
And I
I believe they drained the pipes too.
did they?
No,
That's what
no, they did not. Fire department told me they did not, that I did drain the pipes.
Ideally, if you want to do full treatment, you drain your pipes, put antifreeze in the toilet and all kinds of stuff like that, but I wouldn't know about that.
They shut the water off from the water main to the unit, but I asked them if they shut the water, who could drain it, and they said no, that shutting it off is all they could do.
Okay.
Are you in a butter on either side?
I'm the president of the condo association.
Okay, hi, I'm Kristen. I don't think we've met. You're familiar, but I don't think we've met.
Yeah, Fran Spain.
Hi, Fran, nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you.
And April is another person who's not here. She's actually attended every housing board meeting, I think, for the last 4 months.
Yeah. Bless her for it.
I've been trying to recruit her. And and so she's aware of what's going on. Okay, so anyway, so after this pulling out of the fire department, they had a meeting in town hall, and they decided that the Board of Health should have a role in this. And I think the Board of Health decided that they would have seek a court order for Jim this year, I think. I'll see where you Jim.
Yep.
Yeah, Jim. Hi, Jim, to get a court order, so at least we could get into the unit and see whether it was okay. And I have to say, I'm not quite sure what the status is on that. Jim, would it be possible for you to tell us what is going on in that regard?
Sure. So one of the things, the meeting that we had with the town officials, again, we're frustrated by the fact that I just can't go into the property. I don't have the right unless I have permission from the property owner to go into the property. And so we seem to be bedeviled by getting permission from whoever be the owner of that property. Now, I've worked with Wendy. She's provided me with the probate attorney's information. I've placed a couple of calls. I've sent an email explaining what it was that we're trying to do. The Board of Health could seek what's called an administrative consent order to do an inspection. That's all we'd be doing. But I have to serve it on somebody. And so we're kind of stuck in the same position without knowing or having somebody we can actually serve this document on. So we haven't obtained one yet because we don't really know who we'd be serving it on. And the purpose of that would be to go in and do an inspection. And that's all. I mean, the initial reports that we heard on that Friday were, the water issue, the issue with, maybe the lack of security because there was a broken window, the potential for pipes to freeze, and then, kind of an odor in the unit. I guess there was some rubbish buildup in the unit. So those were kind of particularly the rubbish were the Board of Health concerns. The other issues really are, Unfortunately, they would be the owner's issue to fix along with the rubbish. But again, we're having an issue contacting an owner's representative. So that's kind of where we're at this point.
Okay, well, thank you for the update. That's very useful.
I can piggyback on Jim if it helps.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Okay, so Jim and I happen to be doing something else, and I brought up 118 Summer Road, and I did have permission to go inside the unit. Has anybody from the housing board been in the unit yet?
No.
Not yet.
No, we've been
Okay.
told by KSP that we shouldn't go in there.
Well, I'll get to that. Okay, well, because I grew up with them, both Jeff and John, I did have permission from John to go in. After talking and learning about the basement door being open, I asked them to put a piece of plywood over it, and there is a piece of plywood there. Inside, they screwed 2 plastic covers. So it is secure. Nothing is going to get in and out of that basement door. It did not smell. They have told me that they are working on taking trash out of there. And I've even volunteered my nephew on a Saturday to go over with our dump sticker and finish cleaning it out.
Who is they?
I've been talking to Jeff, the realtor.
Jeff.
But Jeff talked to John, who gave me permission to go into the unit.
But who's cleaning it out? Jeff?
They are. Jeff actually, out of the goodness of his heart, has been paying to have people go in and start taking things out. So,
That's interesting.
because I also heard that there was a concern about the main water line going to the center of that unit, I did invite the building commissioner to go with me. He has the right to go in because, and I'm just being honest, at first I was like, Wendy, don't tell anyone, everyone in with me. But he does have the legal right to go in, and he went in with me. So
I didn't.
good job, Wendy, but I just confessed my sin. So I was like, I'm just gonna confess to everybody, there's no point having secrets. And I did tell Mike today that Ed Cataldo was in. The water line does run down the center on the main beam, which is in the center of the basement. The basement was warmer than upstairs, and Ed did not see an issue because in Massachusetts, basements don't typically fall below 50 degrees. So the main water running between the units should not freeze. And then my understanding also is that people on either side have water trickling just to make sure.
One of the end unit.
Okay, perfect. All right, so that's that part of it. There was no smell. There was a little bit of mouse poop upstairs, but I did not see any evidence of a rodent infestation. And please know, I worked all the way through the foreclosure crises. I have seen some stuff. This just looked like a place that people had moved out 40% of their possessions, but there wasn't food everywhere. There was nothing gross. The garage had 4 or 5 black trash bags. There was no smell when I opened the garage door. Now granted it's cold, but even if it was cold, I would have smelled refuse. So what I don't know is if during the time between the fire department being there and there being a smell and Jeff telling me that they're working on taking things out, maybe food trash had been removed, because I did communicate with Jeff that the neighbors were really concerned about all of this and that it's in our best interest to just keep things moving forward. So I did leave a voicemail for Jim, letting him know, hey, I went in, this is what's going on. It is going to be up to you whether you still want him to go in. I don't know that they're going to give permission. I was going in as a friend, somebody that's empathetic to the situation. Jim going in is as a public official, and it creates a whole different level of whatnot. My understanding is that Mike Johns, our town administrator, has a call with their attorney tomorrow, and we'll continue to try to sort it out. My other understanding is that really there's not much we can do. We don't own it. It's in probate. They've got to work through the process, and at some point, somebody will be issued the license to sell by the courts, because that's what you need. They can't sell it till they have a license to sell, and that's when probate says, yep, you've done what you're supposed to do, go ahead.
And that's what KP Law said.
Yeah, and at that point, I think Jeff is going to be the realtor. I don't really know, because I don't know how affordable units work. I've never dealt with one, but at that point, it'll go on the market. It's going to stay in your inventory. Now, in the meantime, there was a little note on the door that said somebody from the mortgage company had been there because the mortgage wasn't being paid. And I can see there's an outstanding, well, no, we know about.
We don't know how much it is. We don't know how much it is.
Well, what I asked Mike to do when he talked to their attorney tomorrow was to just let them know that the mortgage hasn't been paid. In my experience, that bank is not going to foreclose in that unit because of the deed, because of the complexity, because there's no money in it for them. So I don't think you've got a foreclosure risk there. I do think that we've got to work through the process. But at this time, if you want to do something, I think that the only things you could possibly do are offer to turn the electricity and heat back on at the housing trust expense. You could pay a plumber to winterize it. If, you know, and again, this is more to assure the two people on either side that their units are safe. You know, you could have a pest inspector go in, you can do things like that, but it will be at the grace of the owner. They don't have to let you do anything because we don't own it. There is a deed restriction, but it does not belong to the town of Oxford.
Well, you know, the problem that K&P has expressed is that we can't get permission from the owner because we have no idea who the owner is at this point.
Well,
Legally, it's
but
unknown.
John has the right of access. Technically, John is gonna be your point of contact. It was his mother's unit, it's in probate. He's the person that's gonna give you permission to go in and out.
But he can't, according to, in fact, John's wrote a note to us. The note said he had intent to sell and that he gave, at the same note, gave us permission to enter the unit. But K&P said that that was not valid.
Well, because he
has not
hasn't-
been established as the owner.
He hasn't been, the probate hasn't gone through. So I think that at this point, there really isn't anything you can do. It's not gonna freeze. They are working to clean it out. You're gonna have to let it push, you're just gonna have to let it go through the process.
Okay. Well, as long as it's not gonna be paid, you know, and it's in a good.
It's
good
really
state,
not
that's
that
what we
bad.
wanted to make sure.
I mean, I have seen some stuff. I have seen mold growing from ceilings. I have seen toilets full of feces. I have seen rats.
Yeah,
This is none of that.
so,
There's,
so Jeff is working on helping him get
Yeah.
it moving along and get all the stuff out.
yep,
And it's not in a bad state of decay in
Yeah.
any meaningful capacity. The water
Yeah.
situation has been addressed.
yeah.
And what about the window?
They put a piece of plywood on it outside and they literally screwed, like, you know, the plastic cover to a tote? They're
Mhm.
thick and they're sturdy, they're stiff. They literally screwed two of them together on the other side of the
Okay.
plywood.
So it's secure.
You would have to work really hard to get in. I'm not saying you couldn't, but you would have to work really hard.
Alright, so the damage we were concerned about is secure, so.
And I actually don't think you're gonna have to do a heck of a lot. The carpets, again, I have seen some stuff. The carpets are gonna need cleaning. You can decide if you wanna paint it or not. The kitchen was fine. I just think it just needs to be emptied and cleaned.
That's good to hear. Well, let's get into that, but Joe has had his hand.
Sure, sorry. Yep.
Well, Joe, you have something to say?
Yeah, just a couple of questions as a board member and as secretary. I want to get this correct. Is the water line issue, Kristen? So the building commissioner says that's the water, that's not a concern?
He was not worried.
Okay.
He said it runs down the main beam, so it's basically in the center of the unit. Water is being used and below grade in Massachusetts doesn't typically go below freezing, like your basement. It was colder upstairs than in the basement when I
Okay.
was there. Yeah. Yeah.
And then my second question, the way you described it, would you say overall it's weatherized or it's in process of becoming weatherized?
Not weatherized, cleaned out. I think I did not turn any taps to check anything to see if it's frozen. I assumed the fire department had drained the pipes. So I don't know, Joe. I don't know.
Maybe that's too strong of it. I don't think that's what I meant. I meant that you've seen, you noticed some patch repairs and some activity.
Yeah.
But just to secure the unit and mitigate any further damage, would you say it's secure or in process of becoming secure?
It's secure.
Okay, great.
I mean, it's a piece of plywood and some plastic screwed to the door, but I mean, it's as secure as a window would be. You know, you could break a window, you could pry the plywood off, but it's not like you could just reach your hand in and open the door.
Okay. Those are my questions. Thank you.
Yeah.
And because the window was broken and there was access from outside for things to get in, April had a handyman come and put some weather stripping over the back, take the glass completely out from the outside and cover it.
There was broken glass inside, so I think whoever,
The glass has been broken for almost a year.
oh lordy, okay, all right, because I didn't touch the glass.
We just see it from outside.
Okay,
No, we were concerned because the glass was broken, that
Of course.
bugs and weather could get inside, even though we could see that help inside, you can see, it didn't secure the,
agreed.
yeah, so we took equal to that.
Yeah, thank you, Amber.
Yeah.
Good.
Thanks, sir. You know, we've had various people tell us various things about the state of that unit. Some of the things sound really scary. And what you said doesn't sound so scary at all.
You know what, I'll see if maybe I can take a video for you. It wasn't at all. It wasn't bad at all. There's some furniture, the carpets weren't bad, like, I didn't think it was bad.
So you don't think the cost of fixing it up would be exceptionally high or anything like that?
I'm happy to see if I can get permission to go back in, especially if they'll let me take some more trash out for them. I think it just needs a really good cleaning.
I see.
But like I said, I didn't turn on the tub, I didn't check the shower. So keep your $20,000 budget for now, because it's not like I did a home inspection. I just walked through and went, all right, this isn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Yeah.
Well, that's really.
But
good
why
news.
would that be the town's expense, the repair?
Now this brings me to this thing on the screen. Can everybody see this? I was messing around with numbers this afternoon, actually. I'm not sure these numbers are all that accurate. Some of them are just wild guesses. But this, I think, might be something we could do. I think the last time we calculated the maximum resale price, we came up with something like $240,000. And then in a sale, you have to subtract from those all kinds of big numbers. I don't know what the outstanding mortgage is. I'm just guessing.
Oh, I could have looked that up for you, sorry. I can't do it on my phone, but I could have.
Well, the other thing we have to subtract out of there is the nursing home costs.
Right.
Well, I'm suggesting that maybe to the extent that we can find them, we should take a look at what the numbers are. This is just a number. You can see these are all the things I can think of.
And the electricity, the lien on the property, that's $1,000.
Yeah. So I think one of the things we should do is see what the magnitude is, and maybe because of what Kristen says, the repair and clean out is not going to be as much as I assumed there.
Well, to Wendy's point,
We don't have to pay
it
that.
doesn't belong to you. Can the family, I'm just saying the family, because we don't know who's been licensed to sell, can they sell it as is? Because typically properties like that are sold as is.
Well, here's what I think. I think what K&P has said is that the supposition is that the affordable unit should sell the unit in the shape that it was to begin with. Now, certainly it wasn't filled with clothes and piano and everything else. So it could be construed, I think, that any cost for cleaning it up or repairing it is his responsibility. In fact, that's what it said in some of the documents. So I don't know if it's legal, but what about, fixing it and attaching a lien to the property? And so this is the way it would work. And if these numbers are right, then the seller, John, I guess.
Or whomever, we'll call the family, yeah.
It would get $59,000. We would get $25,000, which would come from the proceeds. So that's why I put this number down. I mean, I don't know what we do if this number at the bottom ends up negative, but it doesn't look like.
Then it's a short sale. Then you do not need lender approval. If he winds up owing more than the property is worth, it's called a short sale. And then you have to get the lender involved and they will give it up. They'll just do it.
Yeah, because the big number is the nursing home. That's the big number.
Is that miscellaneous, Wendy? The 24,000?
No, miscellaneous was a sort of combined realtor fee and other additional annoying costs that get added when you sell a house. It's 10% of the sales price is what I figured.
How much do they owe the nursing home, Wendy?
We don't, nobody knows.
Okay.
I think somebody told me not to ask. I think Mike maybe told me not to ask.
Okay. Well,
or maybe KP Law told me you could ask, but they don't have to tell you.
Well, I mean, it would be a good idea to see if something like this could work. I mean, that's the way to do it. You wouldn't pay for this. He would pay for it out of the proceeds.
I have a couple of concerns. One is that, if the utilities are shut off, so one of our other, owners, it was a 40B and they didn't have a will. It took 3 years, to go through probate. So if all the utilities off, we go through the summer with no air conditioning, then it could get moldy inside. So I think, it really needs to be cleaned out completely. And somebody needs to open windows or do something so that the unit doesn't get destroyed. So.
2 years is a long.
Somebody needs to keep
Well,
tabs.
that sounds like it was a situation without a will. My understanding is that they were able to find the will for this one.
I think that's not the case, right?
They did find one.
Yes, so, yes, so that's another, so just, there's a couple things that Al did not mention. So we had sent an email, or I had sent a letter on behalf of the housing board with Al's permission, with KP Laws knowing, well, that they actually helped me write it. And that said, like, all of these things, need to be taken care of. And then what was your other question? You said something.
Oh, well.
Oh, the will. Sorry. So yes, the will was found, and that was what was told to the lawyer, because KP Law said if the will was found, that needs to be given to the probate attorney, because you can't just not follow through, and then the court has to decide, is that it has to go back to court, and the court has to decide, if they're going to count that piece of paper as a will, and that changes some things.
So you're saying that it might not be a valid will?
Well, it was notarized. It was notarized, and it looked, it's been around for a while.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
Hopefully that means the process will be a little bit quicker than.
Yeah, 2 years, yeah, that'd be great.
I think sometimes it's squeaky wheel too. If the other, I'm familiar with the other unit that took 3 years. I think part of it is there's no squeaky wheel. We are a squeaky wheel. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's lots of squeaky wheel. The other one didn't have a squeaky wheel. What?
It's pretty loud here.
Yeah, at any rate, no, but again, all right, okay.
Okay, great.
Well, what's wrong with actually trying to figure out what the numbers are? And to see if this.
For our own purposes, yeah.
Yes, well, to see if this is viable.
Yeah.
If this would work.
I guess the reason is because it's not your job. I'm just gonna be blunt.
Yeah,
It's
but
that family's job. We don't own it. We have no responsibility for it. We're trying to be good neighbors, and we are taking steps towards that. But I don't think this is a good use of your time and energy at this time until you do know how it's going to be disposed. That's why.
I think our interest is just to keep being that squeaky wheel and make sure the
Yeah.
process keeps moving and
well, I don't think,
property doesn't
to
go.
me, our interest is getting a low income family in there.
I know.
And if we, and if figuring out a way to get all this done expedites that, it seems to me that is our job.
But I think what you need to do is wait until the court appoints a representative of the estate, an executor. Or
there is, that's already been done.
Okay, well then, is that John or who is it?
No, it's this guy in Fall River.
Okay, and is that who Mike's talking tomorrow?
Yes, and
tomorrow
that's
week?
the guy that I sent the letter to. That's the guy Jim Gareffi sent the letter to. I talked to him once last fall,
Okay.
and just so you know, like, my opinion about this guy is, I called the gas company. He hasn't done anything. They didn't know that Geraldine died. The mortgage company didn't know that Geraldine died. No, like.
So you notified them of all of that?
Just those two things, yeah.
Okay, what we have to focus on is Mike does have a meeting with that person tomorrow.
Yes.
So let's get the next set of information. Let's find out what their plans are, Mike.
Is that Mike's goal? What's the goal of that call?
This is
I don't know.
yeah. So yeah,
All I
so
know
I
is
got
Mike
an
did
email today too from them. And I and Mike got a few calls, and they, Mike hadn't answered. So he tried to call back, and then they called me because I sent the letter, And then, so I sent this letter like over 2 months ago. So,
Yeah, Mike said they played phone tag today. I know I was in several meetings with Mike today, so he had a busy day. I'm gonna suggest that you wait and find out the resolution from tomorrow's meeting.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's great if you ask Mike to say the town would like to work with you to resolve this problem. We have some funds. We'd like to be partners with you, and then you have to wait for them to respond. They have to accept your help. And then I think it's entirely possible that you can create a repair rider where you say the Affordable Housing Trust is willing to do, I'm not an attorney, but willing to do XYZ to help expedite the sale of this property. The seller is gonna have to agree to it. And then that basically gets written into all the paperwork so that when it closes, the town gets reimbursed. So you don't need to do a lien, because it's going, if it moves forward like that, it's a friendly proposition. We wanna partner with you to get this parcel back into our affordable housing production.
Well, that sounds like the kind of thing we should be trying to head for.
Yeah, and I think if you give
pursue
Mike
it
that
until-
direction, or Ian could talk to Mike tomorrow and just, at the board's direction. So I'm not boss, you guys are.
I hereby direct Ian.
But I have a question.
Yeah, so Ian, do you have a good grasp of all of this?
Yeah, you said the repair rider, I'm not entirely familiar with.
It's just, you're going to have a legal agreement, I'm calling it a rider. You'll have if they accept the town's offer of help, you'll determine exactly what that help is, it'll get written out, it'll be specific, and then the executor of the estate or the administrator of the estate and the town would both sign it, and we would all know exactly whose responsibilities are what, whether that's money for reimbursements or getting contractors in. And I think that Mike should, depending on how you all feel about it, do you want to talk to them about getting electricity back on? Do you want to talk to them about getting the heat back on? Do you want to talk to them about sending a plumber in to winterize it? I don't know if that's something DPW can do. I don't know. But that's going to be your decision, because that would be using Affordable Housing Trust funds.
I myself don't see the point, I have to say. Because we can't show it to anybody, certainly, it just sits.
Oh, it's to protect it, but it's to her point about air conditioning and humidification and all that. The only reason to put the heat and the electricity back on would be to manage the climate.
Would the town recoup that money from the estate? Would the town?
You would write that into the agreement. That's what I'm saying, is you have to decide as the housing board and trust, what do you want to offer in order to get the work done with guaranteed reimbursement at the sale?
Okay,
and we've got a hand up over here, so she's very patient.
So with that,
It's just the way I want it to flow.
No, Fran.
Oh, Fran in the room.
You've got the laptop in front of you, you can't see her.
so with
Oh,
that,
yeah.
so would that come, money be taken out before any liens, any other, like the nursing home or the utilities? How does that work? And also, how do can we fold in the condo fees that are gonna be just outstanding for them?
That's gonna be an attorney question. I don't know about the condo fees. And it's also an attorney question, because with any sale, there is an order of operations per se. Taxes get paid first, then liens, then other obligations. So again, that's an attorney question. If there's not enough money at the end of the day, who gets paid and who doesn't?
So what you just proposed for the repairs of the unit, does that get paid after everybody else?
That's an attorney question. I'm loath to answer that. In my experience, that is going to be last, but that doesn't mean it will. I can't answer that. I don't have the legal expertise.
Okay, well, that's a question we need to ask before we agree to do this.
Well, that's why it probably, to me, might be a good idea to estimate what these numbers are as best we can now to see whether we're talking about makes sense numerically. I mean, these numbers, and some of them are just wild guesses.
Right.
Show that.
And can I just say something, like if you guys are talking to John now, so like, say if my mom died and I had to take care of her house, even if she was in a 40B, like, I'm a responsible person that's gonna make sure the electricity's on, that's gonna make sure the heat's on. So now that we know John is the rightful heir, wouldn't that typically be his deal to make sure that these things are happening?
But he's got a personal representative that's been appointed.
He doesn't work for him. He doesn't work for John. John still is in, John has been determined as the next of kin. There's no one else. So as a responsible next of kin, you would do your own thing to turn on the heat and turn on the electricity.
So what is the exact status of this person who's talking to Mike tomorrow? Then I thought he's John's personal representative.
Well, at the court
He's the personal representative. Okay. The nursing home, they're owed money. They went to the court. They probated. They went to the court to say, we are owed money. I don't know how much. And the court, and they went to the court and said, there is no will. And so, but there's John. This is all like online in the court documents, but John is the next of kin. So, he would get this, will or no will. And so the court said, okay, we're going to make somebody the person that probates the estate. So they made this guy, and I asked him when I talked to him last fall, I'm like, how did you get this? And he says he does lots of these. So this guy was appointed, he raised his hand, and they appointed this guy to probate the estate. So, and he's got a bond from the nursing home that if he cleared this all, he gets that bond. But KP told us that he is not working for the nursing home. He is working for the estate.
I think, Wendy, I hear what you're saying, and I 100% understand and respect your frustration. I think that we're going to learn a lot more after Mike talks to the attorney tomorrow. I think that if this group can put together either a list of questions for Mike or, give Mike some direction, I think we'll be able to move forward. We're just going to have to, we're not going to be able to do it tonight, though. We're just going to have to wait until we get more information.
I mean, I agree with what Al said before Wendy chimed in just then, that it's still worth our time to collect as much hard numbers as we can. I know Kristen kind of was saying it's not our job, or like it's not worth our time, but I think it is, because that would determine like whether or what kind of agreement we might try to enter into with the owner, or like what kind of repairs we might, right? Like having a sense of how much profit is potentially to be made would determine whether it's worth us investing $10,000 in repairs, based on whether there's even, any money that could potentially, right? Like that's the value of doing this exercise, right?
It could happen simultaneously.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I'm getting.
Any idea how long she was in the nursing home?
What?
How long was she in the nursing home?
I know.
I think she was there a year, but I have to confirm.
Because the wild part is how much.
Right.
Just because she might.
That started in November.
I thought November too. That was
November is, we don't know for sure, but November is when the wild party started, and she died in April.
Okay.
I give yourself some.
Fred and I both missed it. What started in November?
That's when she went to the nursing home. That's correct, Wendy?
Oh, we don't know. I don't know that. I don't know that. That's when stuff started, that there was police activity at the residence.
Okay.
Oh,
What if we,
that was not unusual though.
what if, in terms of Mike's conversation tomorrow, I'm just throwing this out as an idea, is what if Mike says we're trying to understand how the town can help the estate move forward. If you, Mr. Attorney, believes there will be enough funds to reimburse the town, we would be interested in assisting with some of the repairs and the clean out. And that way you're keeping it really loose. You're being very clear that the town is only going to help if they're going to get their money back.
I don't know if we can trust this attorney though, or I don't know what his interests are. It doesn't.
He's being paid to settle the estate, so we can trust him because he's got statutory responsibilities. So yes, if this is someone who does this all the time, he has statutory responsibilities.
Sure.
So I think that's the question. If there's some reason we're not supposed to actually know how much they owe in the nursing home, I don't know. but it seems to me you could be asking these questions to help you decide what makes the most
I
sense.
did. I asked him and he wouldn't tell
Right,
me.
but Mike is gonna ask the questions now,
That's what-
for better or worse, now he's talking to the town
That seems like a
administrator.
good way to skin the cat. There's probably other ways to skin the cat. But I think it does move us down the road if we can come up with a general scheme that we're working toward.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, is let's push it on down the road a little bit, yeah, get some more information so you have the information to make a good
And
decision.
so if there's a lien on the property, wouldn't it say how much that lien is for?
Yes, it does.
There's documentation someplace about that.
Did you know if the nursing home actually put a lien on the property?
Not to my knowledge. I have all the court stuff printed out. Let me just quickly look through it. But I mean, I've looked at all the court stuff. I don't know where.
Well, you could, well, don't do it now.
I've gone
It's
to
okay.
our
'Cause you can
assessor.
you can ask the attorney tomorrow,
All right.
but
I've
she's
gone
gonna
to
know
the,
all the details.
I mean, there's nothing in the court documents that say anything about. They just
Right.
said the petitioner was from his name. It's from the Life Care Center in Littleton. The executive director petitioned the court
Okay,
because they are a creditor, because they're owed money.
okay.
Joe has his hand raised.
Joe?
Thank you. As a BHP member, I just want to, I'm sorry, I may have missed this. Is somebody in our group, Wendy, Kristen, I don't think it's you. Is somebody going to have time to speak with Mike before the call tomorrow?
Ian's gonna do it.
Okay, thank you, Ian. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, and I
no
just
problem.
texted him too, and I said, "Can you ask the lawyer how much the estate owes the nursing home?" And he said, "Sure."
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Could you restate your question too, because you had framed it nicely. You said the town is trying to understand how to best move forward.
Yeah,
So we want to help out.
Yeah, the town is trying to determine if it's, now I don't know what I said, Ian, I don't know.
And now you said it so nicely, Kristen.
Value.
Oh, it's recorded, yay.
I think you said how we can assist.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Oh, how best.
Is that the right, I mean, this might
But you
just
said
be
something
me
about the
personally,
value too.
but
Good, I'll watch it. Thank God we recorded.
The idea is how much, I guess the intent of my question was, is there enough liquidity in the property for the town to be able to assist with repairs and clean out?
recuperate costs.
Right, because we need to be able to be sure that we can recuperate the cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I heard was you proposed that Mike opened the topic of, well, is it possible that we could work together
Yes,
and for the town to help with the repairs, but we have to make sure that there's enough money around to
Yeah.
get paid back.
we'd like to be good
Yeah.
neighbors and good partners, we understand as part of our, yeah, exactly, it's however Mike wants to say it. That's a Christian way to do it, I'd like to be a good partner. Yeah. I know how Michael
I'm like,
says.
that's so
Michael's
kind.
very
Why are
nice.
we being so nice? I'm like, we have a
Because-
vested interest in
because-
this unit being resolved and resellable. It's a housing crisis, right? Like, there's a need for this, like, and we're stewards of this property. And
Well,
I think
we're
that's
not-
just me personally wanting to not be quite so like kind about it. I'm
Well,
like,
Not only that, the urgency is if there's no utilities, your unit's gonna get destroyed and it would maybe push him to do it quicker. Like, because he has vested interest in selling it.
right, that's what I'm thinking.
It's the
Aren't
only
we
money he
both-
has in the world.
Aren't we both like?
My understanding is this is his only investment. That's
It's
what
only investment.
put that way.
You know what?
Anyway, I think
Being
we've got a
nice.
plan forward.
I think we have a
don't to
game
keep-
plan,
Yeah, we don't
folks.
have to keep.
Sounds good to me. So you're gonna,
Yeah, I'll have a chat with
Mike.
Mike tomorrow
and then we'll have to,
so-
somehow, we have to, the housing board has to learn how that went and then figure out what to do.
I just have one more thing. So when you calculate the numbers, there's $247 a month condo fees accruing every month.
247.
Yes, I don't know what that,
How many months?
I don't know when, I'm not sure how far back it goes, but
And
every
there's
month,
also that mold
every
thing
month
that
is a
they're
condo
dealing
fee,
with.
247 accruing every month.
I think
And then there's also that other mold thing that they're dealing with.
The mold.
The pump house or something. There's some
Oh, there was a special assessment in.
special
Oh, yeah,
assessment.
April was talking about the like I think it was the cleaning, power washing, to get rid of like algae and mold or something on the outside
Oh,
that
yeah.
everybody pays
It's a
to.
major problem in the
Yeah.
well house with mold inside the well house.
Anyway, suffice it to say, I think you need to get a ballpark estimate of the kind of expenses that might be involved, and I think that would serve us well. That's my.
Yeah, we have a game plan, so that's good.
Condo fees.
Yeah.
Hey, Al,
Yes.
is there any precedent with any of the other resales that you've done that the town has helped, do the repairs and
Not to my knowledge.
Well, my complex.
No. We got involved in one case, but that was kind of like being evicted, but there was nothing like this.
That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, quite a while. So I propose that we move on to the next topic. Does anybody have any words of wisdom that they want to add to this?
I think we're quite wise enough on this topic.
Yeah, all right, we especially.
You guys are doing awesome. Just don't give up. You just have to be patient. These things take time.
Sure.
You're doing great.
Thank you. Now let's see, what is next? Okay, Box BRAP. I just put it there because we always put it there. I don't know if there's any problems. Wendy, are there any problems? Anything you want to tell us about BRAP?
no, it's just the same as usual. People are coming off, people are coming on.
Okay, but there's no problem, no policy decisions or anything like that.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, great. Let's move on to the next topic. That would be the annual report, which I've distributed to already. Ian,
I can't pull that up. I believe it's right here.
Yeah, there it is. Now, this has been gone through several editorial cycles, so might be practically perfect for the who knows. But anyway, if we approve it tonight, I'm going to submit it. And so what do you think?
I mean, I read through it briefly before the meeting and nothing stood out to me as needing egregious correction.
All right, well, should we vote to approve it, and then I will forthwith submit it. Okay, can I hear a motion that we accept the annual report?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Joe. Do I hear a second?
Seconded.
All right, so let's
Thank you,
vote.
Al.
What was
Thank
that?
you for writing it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's good to think about these things. You learn a lot when you think of write things like this.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I vote for it. I'm not particularly unbiased though. Joe, did you vote aye or nay? Aye or no?
Aye.
Okay. Corrine,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
and Brittany,
Aye.
Ben.
I,
Did I leave out anybody? Okay, therefore this is approved. Okay, now on to the next, I think the letter to
Yep, I have that in here as well. Oh, yes. There it is.
now this has been through several editorial cycles and people have actually made some very good improvements on it. We can go through and make it even more perfect. But there is one question I have about this that I don't think is resolved. And it is, where should we send it? I mean, I don't want to just send it to the EOHC. We need to send it to a person.
I
And
thought
I had a weird thought. Why not send it to David? I could rephrase it, and this would be something David could use in his arsenal to show people, look at this
Al,
really matters. There's a housing board out there that's having problems. In fact, they have a concrete example, 118th suburb, where it's a problematic thing. I mean, if a trust was legal for an affordable unit, we wouldn't be having the problems with 118 summer. And, you know, and so that, I don't know what you think of that, but that would be one thing I might suggest.
I think Corinne was trying to chime in with something.
Corinne?
Was
Oh,
that?
that's okay. So when David had left the meeting, he was supposed to send us where we were supposed to send, like the contacts of where we were supposed to send this directly to. So I think we need to probably reach back out and circle back with him and just find out.
Yeah, I agree that, I mean, I like where your logic is for sharing it with David, but I think you explicitly was kind of like, I want these people to hear from someone, not me, you know, like I think that was the value to us writing a letter, was that they were the people who were, you know, upholding this guidance or this wisdom would benefit from hearing another advocate besides David.
Another example, you can use 80 Summer Road, took 3 years to go through probate. I mean, unit was vacant for 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I didn't realize.
They just sold, like, 2 years ago? I think just 2 years ago.
Yeah, so we've got multiple examples, which is, yeah.
You were the person who dealt with David. I think David should be in the loop. We don't need
With the trust thing as
somebody
well,
who
we
doesn't
could
want
add
to
it
send it to her.
Yeah, and I think there's no harm in me reaching back out to David, and if David does have a contact, then I'd say that's the best path forward. I know that David didn't want to be, you know, the person doing all of this or the person tied to all of this, but I think that the way we drafted this letter keeps it, you know, on our own accord, that we had him come in, he spoke to us, and we thought it was an important issue enough to take forward with the EOHLC.
Yeah.
And if he has someone that he wants us to send it to, then by all means we'll follow up with that.
Send it roughly too, like couldn't, like, I'm sure EOH, sorry, go ahead, you had your hand up.
We can just send it to our representatives. We can send it to Dan Cena and Jamie.
So that's what I was thinking, yeah, that we're on the same page. I'm like, EOHLC must have
And
some sort of generic
They'll know where to
contact.
direct it.
Representatives.
I don't want to do anything to embarrass David politically, and I don't know in politics. Do you think that there's a chance of sending it to Dan Cena?
No, he told us he wanted us. He encouraged this. This was not something, he needs help. He wants us to, and you know, we offered. So I don't think, I mean, certainly if Ian's going to circle back with him, he can triple check with him. But I think we should email it off to him. And I think I agree with Finn and Brittany.
This is what our reps are for.
Zena and the other one. Yeah. And
I get
They're
the
the ones that
impression,
make the law. They're the ones that change it. So
Well, maybe
they're the ones to talk to.
Maybe since we're going to contact him anyway, it would be prudent to tell him what we are thinking of doing, see if he objects. I mean, I don't think we ought to do anything that makes him.
Send David the letter and say, hey, this is the letter. We'd like to send it out. We're thinking of sending it to Dan and Jamie.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere else that you think we should direct this to?
Exactly.
Because there might be
I think
current
that works,
political
yeah.
actions at the state level that this would be relevant to. And Dan and Jamie will know more. But I'm sure David is probably plugged into whatever is happening at the state level.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and he's a friend.
Yeah,
And so I don't
agree.
want to do anything.
And Joe, were you trying to say something?
Yeah. Joe?
I just wanted to reiterate, I came away with that David has been trying to be an advocate already for this, and he's not a state employee, so there's no conflict. I think he's going to support us advocating to elected officials broadly, so.
Yeah, I agreed.
Well, do it. That is a big problem. I don't know why. Everybody, it's crazy. Everybody sort of agreed with David to this, and they just don't have the time to work on it.
Yeah, or the willpower. I have one comment that's not related topically at all, but the salutation of dear sir or madam is not particularly gender inclusive. Could we say like to whom it may concern?
Yeah.
Because like you never
said not. I thought there was.
I guess it's archaic now.
Yeah, well, just in general, to not use gendered language is a good practice because you can't presume like someone is male or female. Like they could be transgender, they could be. I know. It's not related to housing topics. It's not.
Definitely am showing my age. Yeah.
Too, Al. I'm showing my age.
I had
So.
not realized that was sexist or anything else. But
No, I wouldn't call it sexism. I would just say it's excluding people who are not cisgendered. So people who don't identify with the gender they're assigned at birth. It's exclusive of that population, and we don't people.
Right.
Yeah,
You're right.
So it's again, it wasn't topically related. It was just one small.
Well, thank you for mentioning everything you can do to get me out of the Stone Age.
Here to Madam or Sir
Well, don't
or other interested entities.
You don't have a change out. You
or infants or yeah, to whom it may concern or something.
To whom it-
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. So
Thanks
yeah,
for indulging me.
you're right. So we have a plan on that. We're going to talk to Ian. I'm going to stop using Madam and after we get some guides, we're going to send this thing out. It's okay to send it out without a further review from the housing board.
No, looks good.
It's good.
Okay. Yeah. What is next? Okay. We have on Hope, we have one application.
I think that might be something, if we're sending this out, we can maybe update you on.
My question was, if we were to add a second example of number 80.
Oh, that's right.
You could write, you guys could write another letter.
Or like,
It's, no, having a different perspective from.
80 summer, that's an affordable unit.
That was Chuck. Yeah, totally.
Maybe we should add to that letter.
all right, if you
No, I think it would be better for you guys to have another letter that kind of reiterates the same
You
thing.
made one example there, it took it's been 7 months, but we had one 2 years ago, it took 3 years, so.
Right, so-
Well, if you write a letter, you can speak to your perspective as part of a condo association and the problems that you've run into with, having this restriction on the trusts on 40B units.
So it just left an empty unit, the people paid the condo fee, so it really wasn't a hardship for us. It was an affordable unit empty for 3 years, so yeah.
Very good.
So that's why I'm saying it probably should be included in this and not with,
Yeah.
Okay.
but it didn't impact us at all, it was a quiet neighbor.
No name is quiet,
It's bad because it keeps, there's 3 years of
My
home
point,
ownership that,
my point, and
Yeah.
it's recent too.
yeah.
Okay, so do we?
No,
you're.
Let's not include it, but I think, Fran, I'll be glad to help you with the letter.
Why are,
Well, you said
I wanna-
it impacts affordable housing.
yeah, I'm gonna interrupt here. I think we should include it. I think is there,
Corey?
is she saying that the 80 Summer Road that happened several years ago was also an affordable unit of Boxborough, correct?
Yes.
It just
Then it
sounds
should
like-
be, then I think we should put something in there. I agree. It's under our purview. And if we're trying to hit home that this is an issue, now it's not an issue just once, now it's been an issue twice. So I think secondary to this primary thing that we're currently in, we should make some sort of mention. It doesn't have to be super explicit. It can just be just a brief mention, but I do think that should be in there.
Okay. It just sold 2 years ago, but it was vacant for.
Let's add it.
So how about something that says like right after where it says meanwhile, we're not there, but the right where it says presently the Boxborough Housing Board, right? At the end, so meanwhile, the BHB cannot carry out essential repairs and maintenance. What if it's as simple as this is not the first time
Yes.
this has occurred? Just a few years ago, there was another unit, another 40B unit that ended up vacant for 3 years because of this issue.
Yes.
Like something really
Yeah, that
simple
sounds
like that.
Sounds good to me. Do
Done.
it. Okay, great.
Ian, do you want me to share this with you then?
That'd be great, thank you.
Fantastic.
What is next?
Still up.
Huh?
Oh,
Okay. Okay, on Hope, we have one application in, and I actually want to talk about one thing because, we've talked about how we're going to review the applications and, but that has been in the context of an in-person meeting without the Zoom component. And I got to thinking about exactly how we are going to do this if we're on Zoom. So I have a suggestion. Actually, it's not just me. It's me, Wendy, and Becky Harris have been talking about how to do this in a perhaps alternate way that would be more efficient and faster too, and wouldn't open any possibility of looking like we're doing anything inappropriate. I mean, the central part of this problem is that some people on the housing board qualify for this assistance.
Right.
So, I mean, somebody could look at this and say, even though it's not true, that we're up something. And so this is the idea, actually it was Wendy's idea, is to have a 3 people review the documents. These 3 people would be Wendy, and 2 volunteers from the housing board that are not eligible for this program. This is exactly how we review the BEAT applications. So there's precedent. And we have discussed this with Becky. She says it doesn't cause any problems, legality wise. One could have meetings, but not necessarily. I mean, the 3 people could just communicate with one another by email and quickly review these applications, make a decision, and go forward with the grant. We wouldn't have to wait for meet with the housing board, and then particularly the application that's already could be quickly reviewed, and we wouldn't have to wait for a housing board. And it seems a lot simpler to me, and certainly gets us out of any problem we might have about inappropriateness or perception of inappropriateness or anything like that. So what do you guys think about that?
I think it sounds great. I just want to clarify. You said 3 people, you, Wendy, and 2 BHB members?
No, just 2.
Okay. So.
And if 2 people want to.
You and 2 members, basically.
No, it'd be me and another member and Wendy.
Oh, I see. Thank you. 1 additional. Okay. Yep.
And I don't have to volunteer. Maybe I shouldn't volunteer. I do too much anyway. But, if 2 people other than me want to do it, it's fine with me too.
Okay.
But I'm interested in the program, so that's why I wanted to do it. But, so if you guys think this is a good idea, is that sexist? That's probably sexist.
You guys, yeah, you should. Yeah, it's not
really.
it's gendered. I wouldn't say sexist because
All of you.
Just use y'all.
Sexist is
Y'all.
All of yous.
power
Y'all.
structures.
Y'all.
I like
Y'all.
y'all.
Y'all,
You people.
folks, yeah, you folks,
Oh.
colleagues, fellow board members. You
Folks.
gotta get a little creative with it, you know?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Or just say,
Fellow geniuses, as you.
Well, that's
So can I step in?
Jesus.
Yeah.
If you got folks think this is
Folks works, yeah.
a good idea, then let me ask for volunteers.
Joe's hand is up.
Joe?
I just wanted to say that I'm very much in support of this approach. Maybe we add on one more thing just for comfort, and whoever gets chosen to do this, maybe just a short memo after the review happens to report back to the BHB. That's it.
That
Like-
sounds good.
Like a review form. Here's what we did. Here's how we did it. Here's the result. Here's our report to BHB.
Are you volunteering, Joe?
I can help either build the process and or be involved.
I'd be interested in being involved.
Well,
I'm more interested in help building the process, and maybe making a standard memo form for the group that the reviewers could use. But I don't know if I necessarily have time to be a volunteer in reviewing, although if needed, I could make time.
but you can help with writing memos and everything else.
That sounds good.
That sounds good. Well, okay. What about me and Finn? You guys.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
So the way I do it with the modified beep is I when I give the scenario to the other two people from well-being, they don't have a name. Like I'm the only one who knows the name, but all of that stuff is redacted.
We should not see any non-public information. We don't need to see a name.
Yeah, that's so that I'm just so I'm trying to figure out how that process, is gonna happen if things are
So the only time it
mailed to the
needs to be,
housing board or emailed or whatever. Just
Yeah,
to
that's
keep the anonymity.
If there's a privacy concern, then we could take my recommendation away for the memo. I was just wanting something
Oh
for
no,
the,
I wasn't even talking about your memo. I'm talking about the actual.
so Wendy, can I interrupt? So
Yeah.
when you get that application, because now you're kind of just the go-to, right? When you get that application, whoever else is on that team, whether it's Finn and Al or whomever, you three can openly discuss the names and concepts and whatever.
You're okay.
Yes, of course.
Okay. I don't do that with my
it's
other
when
one.
that report piece that Joe was talking about comes to us. We don't want addresses and we don't want names. We just need to know, there was a window. It was part of, it fell under the confines of the program, and this was the amount that was issued or whatever, or authorized, and then move on from there. That's all we need. Just
Okay. I don't even do that. Like my people don't even know who the names are.
Yeah. So, but when it's in the privacy, and I think this is part of why Al was saying what he was saying, is because we want to make sure that we're on the up and up, but we also want to have that respect with the confidentiality. And you do an absolutely amazing job when you sit there and you report with the BEEP program and the BRAP program, right? For both of those. So we can just kind of follow your lead with that. But when you're, behind closed doors and discussing it, there shouldn't be, I don't think there's an issue with that confidentiality piece.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay,
Do we want to vote on this then?
yeah, I guess we should go with that.
That this is like the way we're gonna move forward?
See.
I move to vote to adopt a 3-person review team to include 2 BHB members and Wendy, presumably Al and Finn, for Hope applications going forward. How's that?
Sounds good to me. Any sound good to everybody else? Okay, do I hear a second?
I second.
All right. If further discussion? Very well, let's vote. Joe?
aye.
Me, aye. Corrine?
Aye.
Diane?
Aye.
And Brittany?
Aye.
So that's a done deal.
And Finn.
Finn, aye.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
seconded, so
Yeah,
obviously.
didn't exclude you.
Yeah.
But, okay. Very good. So we're done with that. What is the next thing? Oh, the do we have any update on the housing production plan thing? I know Alec was trying to get some money, but I don't know if it is anything.
Yeah, so we submitted to the, I used to know all the acronyms. For the MAPC, their technical assistance program, TAP, there we go, TAP funding, and we will find out sometime around February whether we got the regional metropolitan area planning organizations funding for that, and then state grants, those applications don't come around until June is when they're due. So we still do have time for that. In the meantime, Alec and I have, we discussed this briefly last week or before Christmas, about what this next year will look like, since we're taking the approach to, hopefully get, outside funding. And that would mean taking this summer and this fall to do, Alec called it table setting, where we as a board are making coordinated efforts to do some outreach to the community, discuss amongst ourselves where we see needs in the community, gaps of knowledge or research, and directions that we would like to take this plan, and we think that the town or make informed decisions on our outreach of where this plan should be going, so that once we do acquire funding for this plan, we can take those first steps in the right direction, and we're not just kind of sitting with whatever consultant, be it MAPC, and trying to define that process, but we go in with a really clear vision of how we want the plan process to proceed. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have on that. Joe, did you? Oh, sorry.
No, you can go Joe first.
Thanks, Ian. I think you may have answered my question, but order of operations, summer and fall, like tabling outreach, will MAPC
I'd say summer for now. I'd say summer for now. I remember actually now, Alec had proposed, obviously this is all proposed and we have some goals set for this, but I know he wanted to see something at the end of the summer, kind of culminating whatever research outreach or tabling that we do. So culminating.
So my question is will MAPC, will we already have notification of TAP funding by then, and will they be involved, or is
Yeah, we'll have notification of TAP funding by then. We would have only recently submitted our state funding grant in June. Since
it's lovely.
Yeah, so we'll have like half of our funds by the time we're doing most of this work, and seeking the rest of that.
Perfect.
I also think that it bolsters our application in case for the state grant when we apply in June and give them this, pre-plan outreach effort.
Yeah. All right. This really doesn't have anything to do with this per se, but it's a nice segue. At BLF, we did talk about putting together a group of people to talk about our housing inventory, because we have 1,200 houses worth $250,000 less, another 900 worth over $1 million, and there's a really small amount in the middle. And honestly, the only way to address it, and BLF is looking at it in multiple ways. We're not seeing any new growth. We're coming up against BLF? Foxborough Leadership Group. So it's members of the big boards, for lack of a better word, and select board. Comp plan. I got you. Yeah. So we're looking at the fact that we've had limited growth. We don't have a lot of businesses coming in. So the Economic Development Committee will be working on trying to attract more business. But in the meantime, we do see there's just a dearth of housing in that mid-range. And the only way to address that is going to be with zoning. So what we're hoping is to put together a group of people that can help solve this problem. Because we've got to change the zoning from 1.5 acres or we've got to, I shouldn't say it that way, I'm saying it wrong. We need to create pockets of, however the planning board wants to do it, of areas where you could have higher density units with common septics and common wells so that we could build moderately priced housing. I am going to be putting an A&R lot on the market for one house for $450,000, because that's all that can go on that lot is one house. And so that's what a piece of land is worth now. So a builder can't build small. We have basically zoned out the ability to build moderately priced housing. So we think it's important that for the diversity of our town, for the health of our town, for our fiscal sustainability, that this is something that we have to talk about. And if the town says no, we don't want to do it, okay, but we do think that we've got to pull someone together, and you will be invited to participate with that. Someone who does, we're not there yet, but we did talk about that.
You're talking about something that's kind of my pipe dreams. When we, of course, the housing board tends to concentrate on affordable housing, and maybe rich people tend to concentrate on multi-billion-dollar mansions. But is anybody looking at the whole spectrum? Is anybody asking the question, what would the ideal spectrum of housing be for a community like Foxborough? And if we can identify the ideal spectrum, what can we do to achieve it? Maybe it's zoning, like you say. But, I think since we're above 10%, we, in our housing production plan, could well have the liberty to adjust, to address this more general question.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's crazy. Why should we just concentrate on one end of the spectrum or the other?
Yeah.
Shouldn't we look at the whole thing and
Yeah.
see what's good for Boxborough as a whole?
Because that is what we're missing, that 500,000 to 800,000 there, that is where the bulk of the buyers that I see are coming in. People want to move here for the schools. They want to raise their kids here. It's a beautiful town and they can't because there isn't anything. There's nothing. So again, we are cognizant of that. It did come up because of taxes. It did come up because of our levy limit and the fact that we've had no new growth. So that it is being driven by financial rationalization, but I also think there are a fair number of people in town that do think we need to open the doors to more of a diverse population. Yeah.
All decisions I'm sure remember.
Yeah.
Joe?
And I'm using the word diverse as economically diverse, just to be clear.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're opposed to like ethnic diversity?
No,
or
I
something?
just want to be clear because you girls are, no, you're not girls, you're women. Oh my God. Al, save me. Save me, Al.
The quicksand.
I was
just teasing you. I'm so sorry.
Joe, did you
No, I'm
have your
teasing
hand
you
up?
back, yeah.
Joe, I think, did you want to
Sorry,
say
Joe.
something?
Yeah. Kristen, thanks for sharing that awesome information. I'm glad it's being prioritized.
Don't thank
I'm
me
not
yet. I haven't
asking
done anything
for
yet.
I'm not asking for a BHB member to join the leadership group, but I am asking for somebody from the housing board to be part of that specific discussion. Whether that's our chairman, Al, if he has time, or a delegate, I really think the housing board has to be at the table with that discussion.
Yeah.
I think that's reasonable.
Our next meeting, our next BLF meeting is, Foxborough Leadership Forum. Did I say group? It's BLG, BLF, sorry. Our next meeting is February 15th. I haven't put the agenda together yet. We're probably gonna be getting ready for town meeting at the next meeting, so I think Joe would be after that.
What
But,
time?
7 o'clock on the 15th, but I'm pretty sure on the 15th, 7, BLF.
Of January or
Yeah.
February? Oh, January. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At any rate, I'll keep you apprised because we do have to put it together. Yeah.
That's right. I think, we are just, we're all Boxborough residents. We want to do what's best for Boxborough, not be myopic. And so it's a good idea. Thank you.
Well, you need to know there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna say we need to preserve open space, we need to preserve our water. There's a reason for the zoning, but we're all gonna have to be open-minded, I think, and get way up here and look down on it and figure out solutions that meet everybody's needs.
You mentioned an inventory and, I don't think I mentioned, but this was driven by a need for data-driven, solutions and information for the residents. So when you said inventory, it clicked. I was like, that's a huge part of this thing that we're doing over the summer to prepare for that is getting this inventory that you're talking about. So hopefully there'll be a lot of really good information that we unlock and are able to get out to residents to get them to start thinking about this. So
We're really gonna need you and Alex to be part of it, no question.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Joe. Let's see, what's next topic? Oh, the public resources that I have, the trouble is, I'm really one of these weird people who's against blind copying, but I think that, that notice has been sent to everybody. That's what I was told from Rebecca.
Do you mean the training about
Yes.
that override?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
You got it?
Yep. I'll be there tomorrow night virtually.
I included it because, you know, I think, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Fran. Thank you, Fran.
And I hope April gets spelled fast.
Oh, yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
You told it anyway.
Yeah, right. I included it because, you know, we do advocate stuff and that it's good to know how you can get yourself into trouble.
What's allowed and what's not, yeah.
Now, I will tell you, we are not going to need an override this year. We are absolutely gonna need an override next year. So the select board and the FinCom will be asking people to start thinking about that. Because 100%, we are going to have an overrun next year.
All right.
And so that, I'm glad you got it. And I think it probably would, if you could attend, it would be useful for future things.
Yeah.
We will be advocating things in the future, certainly.
Yeah, definitely appreciated when Becky followed up with an outside of typical work hours option.
Yes.
My new job, like my old job, I used to have so much flexibility and now I have zero flexibility.
A
So
lot
that
of people
was,
said that.
Yeah.
I am, what that?
yeah, I was like, oh,
Come on,
so
KMP.
appreciative. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and thank you to KMP for accommodating.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And let's see, final item under new business is divorce application. I don't see any need to discuss this in detail. I did include all the particulars. It doesn't involve any affordable housing, but it does show that they are proposing to make one dwelling into two dwellings. And I think, that's the kind of thing that we ought to be aware of and consider. I mean, it's certainly possible, but anything from, what do they call them? Accessory apartments to actually making another separate dwelling it increases our housing supply. And even if it's not affordable, I think it has a beneficial effect on the price of housing and so on. So that's why I included it, just for your attention.
So did Kathy have to go before the ZBA because it's a square footage, 940 versus that she wants a variance?
No, because it was
What does she want?
a special permit.
Oh, a special permit. Okay.
So yeah, I included all this stuff. You can read it in more detail, but I think it's so.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you become aware of this?
Well, Mary,
did the zoning board pass it on to you?
yeah, I'm part of the distribution.
Yeah. Okay.
And so sometimes I just ignore those things, but I thought, okay, this doesn't involve affordable housing, so per se, it's not our business. However, it does create more housing.
Yeah.
It is our business.
It also helps a senior stay in town. If that's Kathy's personal house, that's allowing a senior to stay in town and legally rent out the other half of her house. And that's part of what ADUs are for, right? Is to help people stay in their homes.
Yeah.
And my understanding of the ADU thing is that we now you can have one ADU by right across the state. Was that like a new law?
As long as
I saw
it
something
meets
yesterday about
all the.
yes.
Yeah.
It's a maximum of 900 square feet. That's exactly why Kathy is before
I
the
see.
ZBA.
Yep.
Okay.
3 something feet over, unfortunately.
44 square feet over.
But
Well, thanks for bringing this to our attention. I think we should probably look at these in the future, but from my perspective as housing board, we should be overly supportive of ADUs.
I agree.
I think so too. I think we shouldn't be too myopic in our views. I mean, anything that creates more housing really serves the interest of affordable housing, in my opinion. So we ought to be open-minded in that regard.
Yeah, agreed.
will you be responding to?
I thought I would respond and say something like, we appreciate the fact that new housing will be developed as part of this, and we encourage
Creative housing creation.
yes, creative housing development.
Yep.
Like ADU.
Yep.
I don't think I'm qualified, or I was qualified to talk about the details, but that would make a general statement like that.
Agreed.
Okay, and the next meeting, what's next?
That's the next thing, yeah, the last
The
thing.
next meeting, I think we should keep it at January 27th, even though it's closer.
That's fine.
But we tend to have a lot of stuff on the agenda, you know.
We do.
Yeah, but we're so efficient that we get through them.
And smart.
Please remember to let Diane know, or me know, but Diane is the one to collect any topics you'd like to discuss. Because it's pretty easy to forget.
Yeah, overlook something, sure.
Yeah.
Try to make
I didn't send out a message to this meeting because Al and I agreed with the timing. It wasn't necessary. But do
Yeah.
feel free to say something if you have something to say. And that includes Corrine.
Thanks, Diane.
Sounds good, Diane. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, you know what, you guys, I just thought of something.
Dangerous.
Do you need to let the Board of Health know whether you want Jim to continue pursuing access to that unit? Because basically he said, I don't know who to send it to. Well, technically we do have a name now. We could send it to this attorney, but I'm just wondering if you need to give Jim some direction.
I mean, is there any reason to
Or not Jim,
stop?
Board of Health.
Yeah, yeah. Is there any reason to stop it? Like, couldn't it still be, I guess we don't need to get, if you've been in the unit, I guess we don't need to have them in there anymore.
I don't think you do, and I don't know, but I also don't know the pros and cons of moving forward. But I do know that Brian Lynch said that the Board of Health had actually voted to ask him to do this, and I don't want there to be any loose ends, that's all.
Yeah.
Good point. I think
I don't even know why that popped in my head, sorry.
that's good.
That's how these things work. Yeah. I mean, part of me is like, I don't see it being harmful for him to continue to try. Like, if they already voted and it's all on the up and up, like, I don't see any downside. Maybe it's just like a progress update. Like, he can confirm what you saw or can say, oh, it's actually cleaned out more, right? Like, it seems like that we only have information to gain, right? Like, I don't see any reason to go through the steps of being like, no, we went through all this, now you can stop. But I'm open, that's just my gut reaction.
Well, it takes its time.
Oh, sure, okay.
Well, that's what it is, and we have Jim like 1 day a week, so we're
Sure,
taking
okay.
him away from other things, so. all right.
Okay, yeah, so that's a perspective I didn't have. I mean,
Yeah, we belong to a consortium, so we.
No, I
we
think
share.
I think he comes in twice.
Is he twice a week? Okay.
Tuesday,
even still, like,
Thursday.
I get it, it's limited, the plot is taken, yeah. I mean, I could be convinced that it's worth stopping.
Well, I could give, send some email to Brian and say, we decided, we didn't realize that we had the access to the apartment.
Or just that we were able to gain access.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and, please, tell, Jim that he doesn't have to keep trying or something like that.
I think that's reasonable.
Is there
Go
a way,
ahead.
is there a way just to kind of pause it versus saying we don't need it? Because now I'm afraid if we do need him to come back in some capacity, it's going to have to go through all of those channels again to be revoted on and things like that. I don't know how it works with the Board of Health.
I think that the way I see it is you asked the Board of Health for assistance, and now you could say, we're okay for now, we'll let you know if we need you to re-up, for lack of a better word. You don't think a better word.
That's what I had written. Just letting him know at this time, we're all set.
It's not urgent.
But don't throw away the paperwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we can do that, I think that makes sense.
Agreed.
You want me to do that? Somebody else want to do it? Who's
No,
gonna?
I can reach out to Jim. I've been in communication with him.
And like I said, I'm gonna offer, if they'd like me to do a couple of dump runs for them, it's a Boxford trash going with my sticker to the Boxford transfer station. I don't want anyone to get mad, but I'll see, and that would, then I'd be able to pop in again.
Sure, yeah.
Just kind of see.
I'm generally a fan of using waste management systems, so I'm like, no complaints here.
I stopped the sharing because now we're talking about something else.
Thank you.
I didn't realize we were back to Summer Road. I kind of zoned out.
No, I just.
And then I heard trash, and then I heard Kristen dump sticker. So I'm like, wait, I'm missing something.
Hey, Kristen dump.
Well, I think we decided that, so
All right.
I think we're done.
So
Everybody
who's
agree we're done?
who's gonna talk? Ian, do you want to reconvene in the morning, find out what time the meeting is, and we can go talk to him?
Yeah. Are you in tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going on vacation Thursday. That's one of the reasons I'm not in there, because I don't want to get sick.
You're smart.
Yeah, no, I'll get in touch with, I'll try to find out when Mike's meeting, but
Yeah,
definitely tomorrow morning, and
I
And then we
just
can,
asked Kelly, but yeah, I don't know what time it is.
I can't see it being super early, but we'll get in there in time.
Okay, great. Well, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Oh my God, this is the earliest ever.
Don't you, how dare you? I can't believe you said that out loud. Now it'll never happen again.
No, I wanna hang out for longer.
Oh,
We have something we can talk about?
I vote to adjourn the meeting.
Do
I
I have a
vote to
second?
adjourn the meeting.
Okay, you move.
Protest.
Can I ask
Go
one
ahead,
question?
Listen to that.
Yes, you may.
How did we feel the hybrid meeting went?
I think it was good. I think it was relatively easy. I mean, I didn't touch any of the tech, but
Wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I was
See?
living in dread fear all week about this
I
thing.
know you have.
I feel like it was
went
just as
okay.
cumbersome. Oh, go ahead, Diane. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it went okay. I just have to learn Joe's trick of raising his hand.
There's a button on the bottom.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
And I can come in too, like next time, because I know Ian lives far away. I just didn't want to do the germs this week.
I think we can handle the owl going forward. Yeah, I think we were just as verbose and be able to listen and talk as we are in person. I don't think it was really that different, to be honest.
Okay, well, so far so good.
All right, sorry, I just
good.
wanted to ask.
We'll do it again next time, and thank you so much, Ian, for your help.
No, it's nothing.
Does that mean we need to
Literally my job.
ensure that there's always, like, are you committing to always being in person? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, do we need to always ensure that someone is here?
I usually prefer to come in person too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just, we have to flesh it out right now,
For
but
having, there's no reason to not change in the future, but I would vote for having another hybrid meeting, seeing how that goes.
I am a fan of hybrid forever. I just mean, do the people who are gonna be here rotate? You know, like in person? Like, does it change, like, say you're traveling or something and you're like in a
For
hotel
what
room?
purposes? For technology setup or for what?
Yeah, exactly, to use the OWL digital meeting tool, essentially, to be in person. It's not something we have to decide right now. It just occurred to me that there's potentially a situation where, like, me, Finn, and Al can't be the people in person that at that meeting, you know, just hypothetically. It's not, I don't think it's gonna be an issue.
And set a reminder to reach out to board members at the beginning of the week to
Like, just get an intention or something.
who's gonna be
Yeah.
here, who won't be here. And I mean, as long as one person's here, then it
Then
shouldn't be
it's
an issue.
enough. Yeah. Again, I don't think it's gonna be a huge issue, but it just occurred to me that that might be something we have to ask. Like, when you send your email and you're like, can board members let me know if they're not gonna be in attendance? It's almost like, can board members indicate their intention to be in person or on Zoom? Do you know what I mean?
Is that what the other boards do? Do they actually tell people to say whether they're gonna be in person or?
Well, the only hybrid I can think of that has been doing hybrid for a while is ConsCom, and all of the members always come in person, and that's just how they do it. Other than that, EDC did hybrid. I know Abby's here, so she can speak to that. But that was the same situation where I believe all members, maybe one was remote. But yeah, I think with, it's totally fine to do hybrid, but with there being 3 of us here, obviously there's a preference for some board members to be remote. That's totally fine. It wouldn't hurt to reach out the week prior just to get a gauge that someone will be here. If someone's not here, then Wendy or I can stick around and make sure that the in-person part of the meeting it goes smoothly.
And I'm close by, so it's nice to not have to come in every time though.
Yeah, again,
Well, I
just a
think
thought.
tonight, the way you did it for this meeting works just fine. And I think if something changes, just let us know.
Yeah, okay, great, go team.
All right, well, still, there's nobody has moved to adjourn.
I did.
I'm thinking, oh, you did?
Yeah, nobody
I-
seconded.
I assumed you wanted to stay here.
And then Finn crossed the line.
Yeah, I moved to adjourn, but no one seconded.
Okay, we have a second? You're thinking about it.
I don't know why everybody's counting
You want
on
to
it.
stay?
It's not like it's not 5-4.
I'll second.
There you
I'll
go.
second. Okay, let's vote. Brittany,
Aye.
Kim?
Nay.
Oh,
You're so silly.
what a hard worker. Joe,
Aye.
Corrine,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
and me, aye.
I've been
I think that's everybody.
We're adjourning anyway, how do you like that?